What's going on, everybody? I am Kevin Britton, host of the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive. Be sure to tune in every Sunday and Wednesday for all your Chiefs content right here on Stadium Drive Sports.
Hey,
Sean,
what's going on?
Let them know.
I am Sean, and I'm from the Royal Way. I'm on the baseball side of things here. I've got the Kansas City Royals news, stats, and information for you and all that entertainment to help keep you going through this tumultuous season. So catch the Royal Way on Monday and Thursdays here on Stadium Drive Sports.
You got it. And then we also have Fantasize This, where me and Sean will sit down. We will be bringing you everything you need to know for fantasy football, helping you bring home the prize and the pride in your fantasy football league every Friday. Sean, when does it debut?
That is going to debut on a scary day, Friday the 13th.
Absolutely. So make sure you guys tune in.
Oh,
and of
my.
course,
Hold on.
Is that your Friday the 13th?
There's a witch behind me.
And of course, you guys are currently watching the Combo Show live. We do this every Tuesday, 8 p.m., where we bring Chiefs and Royals together. And me and Sean are here to answer all of your questions. Now, if you guys are able to make it to the live, feel free to leave comments in the live chat so we can answer them right here, right now. If you're not able to make it to the live and you want to catch it later, feel free to send us an email, stadiumdrivesports@gmail.com, with any questions that you have, and we'll be sure to answer those for you. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. If you guys like the content, go ahead and like the video. That way we know what we're doing here is appreciated by you guys, and we would appreciate that very much. And of course, always welcome for your comments and questions so we can answer them right here on the Combo Show Live. Sean, I gotta ask, man.
Yeah.
What's up with the witch?
It scared me when I noticed it in the camera right there. I forgot she was back there. Well, I wanted to prove to everyone in Kansas City that even if you feel like a witch, or even if you are a witch, there is a way around to staying a Royals fan or even becoming a Royals fan, even at this point in the season. And we can prove it to you. I did it. I talked her into it, and I've got the whole list of what made the change and what is going to keep her a Royals fan, and not just a bandwagon fan like most of these fans are. Oh, they're not going to the playoffs this year, I'm not going to be a Royals fan. Okay, there's a difference between these fans. Okay, don't be one of those fans. It's embarrassing, and you are, sir or ma'am, a bandwagon fan, and we'll decipher the difference later on in the show. I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you, never a dull moment here on the Combo Show Live.
Yes,
love it. You want to hit a question or two real quick?
Yeah, let's go on to it. That's one of my favorite parts of this episode of being live and getting onto these questions and comments, because gets us more interactive with these fans that I love to talk with.
Absolutely. Speaking of fans that you want to talk with, Chase says the Royals need Jabu.
Oh, hey, I got this one. That is Jabu, and I tell you what, yes, we do. We can put it right in Salvy's locker. And what it is, it's a ritual type thing that you'll light up in your locker to give you the aura to hit like Pedro Serrano on Major League.
Yes, Chase, I got to tell you, man, I'm so glad Sean's here. Otherwise, my question would have been, what in the world is Jabu? So yes, thanks for being here this week, Sean.
He helps you hit curveballs. He can hit the fastballs. It's those curveballs that get him. And maybe that is what we need. It could help. And I think it's a great idea. Put it right there in Salvy's locker. Thank you for that idea.
Yep. Looks like our first question we got is actually Royals related. So, Sean, we're going to keep this rocking with some Royals talk here. Aaron
Great.
says, love the videos from both of you guys. Actually, this is directed right at you. Sean, how hot do you think Dayton Moore's seat is right now?
Well, it's only as hot as you make it, and it could be out to be hot because what happens is it's eras that happen. There's little turns of the pages that happen. We saw the turn of the page after the 2017 season when we finally got rid of Moustakis. Well, didn't get rid of Moustakis. Turning of the page, man. We lost Moustakis, Hosmer, and Kane at that point. So it felt like our window for the playoffs were closed at that point. So this new era comes, and now this new wave of players comes. So that's what puts him on the hot seat this is the new wave right here. And we're about to see these new players jump in this game, and this is Dayton Moore's chance. It just happens like that. This is his time to showcase. If he fails, then we might have to move on because the fan base overrides everything. We can kick a person out. Ask Scott Pioli. We flew planes over Arrowhead saying fire Scott Pioli. Guess what happened? Wasn't there anymore the next season.
Yeah, I think he's definitely on a hot seat. Like you said, this is kind of the new wave, and this is his wave, so he has to ride it. And if it's not a strong enough wave, then he could be on his way out the door. So do we hand over the reins to the Wicked Witch back there?
I'll tell you what, she is very gullible at this point. She's wearing this Royals hat right now, but I'll tell you what, Dayton Moore is one of the best GMs that we've ever had. And if you ever compare him to Allard Baird, they're on whole nother levels, I'm telling you. Dayton Moore came from the Atlanta Braves, a winning organization. I'll tell you that, especially in the 90s. He just grew up that. He's got baseball in his blood. He's great for this organization. So I'd hate to see him go anyway. So, that's why I root on the Royals, and that's why I'm a big fan, and I would never change even on a turn of the page because I know there's more story to be read before we get to the culmination of the story.
Absolutely. So, Aaron, yes, I think that I think the seat is hot for Dayton Moore. I think this year will tell a lot about how much longer he'll be here. I think it could end after this year, or he could have several more years to come. Like Sean said, it's all about this wave. So we got to see how big this wave actually is. So to be seen. Let's see. Chase says the Royals have the most losses in the last 20 years, and Moore has been here for 16 of them. I did see the stat. It was crazy to think that we've made 2 World Series. We even won one of them. And even with that, we still have the most losses in the past 20 years, which is insane. What are your thoughts on that, Sean?
That's a kind of an astounding stat when you think that Moore has been here for that long. It gets diluted with the fact that we have won a championship in his tenure. So that kind of knocks off some years right there. But yeah, that kind of adds more to the hot seat when you're getting close to having a 20-year tenure as a GM. We really need things to happen this year or next year. Actually, it is next year, actually, because we have more guys to bring up. We've got Vinny Pasquantino, we've got Nick Prado to bring up, so we're not done bringing these guys up and let them mature. So his turning of the page and his chance isn't limited to this year. It's going to be for this year and next year. Next year is really going to be the real telltale sign of whether or not he's going to sign another contract.
Right. Let's see what we got up next here. John asks, who do you think would win if they went up against each other, the Chiefs receivers or our defensive backs? I love that scenario. Mm-hmm. Sean, you want to lead? You want to let me know your thoughts? Who would win, our receiving core we have now or our defensive back core? And then I'll answer.
It would definitely be the wide receivers at this point. It just seems like with who's ever throwing the ball, they've got more time to gel with the quarterback and whatnot. With the defense, they're more new. These guys are more new. a lot of people are gone from the defensive side of the ball. And it's really fun to think about that because it happens all the time during training camp and during practice, and they go up against each other. And you think about that matchup, like a really good player could get lost in the scheme of things if he's going up against a Hall of Famer. Like, say, Orlando Brown is really on his game during practice, but our new draft pick can't get around that corner or whatnot, or can't get through to the quarterback. And it gets kind of, you don't see the full effect in a game if he's getting blocked so well by such an astounding player. Now you see it on the field against a whole nother team, against a whole nother player, then you see the truth in the players. So one fact is you don't see the whole truth against the same team, obviously. But it is good practice, and I do think that it's the wide receivers that would have some fun on the DBs right now because we've got some speedy guys, and plus we've got a great guy throwing the ball to him in Mahomes if he's the guy throwing it.
So I think our defensive backs would win this battle, except the fact that Mahomes is quarterback.
There you go.
That's kind of your trump right there.
Yeah.
Mahomes is the ace of spades. He kind of helps beat everything. But if you take an average quarterback from this league and say, hey, go quarterback this little scrimmage game, and you were to bring in, Dak Prescott, I think Dak's above average, but just kind of first name that popped in my head. But you bring him in, I think our defensive backs match up very well against a lot of different receivers. So I would have to go with the defensive backs on this one. I think we have some future Pro Bowlers in our defensive backfield right now. I don't know that we necessarily have future Pro Bowlers at the wide receiving core. Obviously, we'll see what Sky Moore develops into. If Justin Ross is who we think he can be, I think he's one that will be a Pro Bowler. But on the defensive side, if you look at the defensive backfield, I think we have, McDuffie could be a Pro Bowler, Snead, Pro Bowler, Reed potentially a Pro Bowler. Remember, he's only 25 years old. Same thing with Thornhill, still young, potential Pro Bowler. He still has development to go as well. So I'd have my money on the defensive backs, unless Mahomes is quarterback in that little scrimmage, and then I have to go with the receivers because of the Mahomes factor. So that is where I'm gonna stand on that one. Let's see. Okay, Chase asks, which Chiefs wide receiver has more upside, Sky Moore or Justin Ross? Great timing, Chase. Justin Ross has more upside, but he also has the lower floor. Sky Moore has the higher floor, lower ceiling. So this is going to depend on how does Justin Ross, how is he getting back from injury? Is he healed up? Is he good to go? He looks good so far in rookie camp. But after the type of injuries that he had, does your body allow you to do the things that you used to be able to do? Can he get back to 95 to 100% of what he was his freshman year? That's where he has that ceiling, because if he hits that ceiling, he surpasses what Sky Moore's ceiling is. But he could also Ross could simply not be the same guy. He could be 70% of what he was, which at that point, I think that Sky Moore definitely has the higher ceiling. So hope that was able to kind of properly answer that. There's a lot of caveats and different things that come into play when kind of thinking that one through. Any thoughts, Sean, or you want me to hop into the next question?
Oh, real quick, if I was going to talk about upside, there's two answers to that. The quick upside, and that's a good question. But the longevity upside, of course, goes to Sky Moore because he's younger. Justin Ross, he needs to really show in camp, and he's really going to give his all to be on this team. So we'll see if it's enough to make the roster. I don't know. I think he's kind of on the fringe there. But when you talk about longevity, Sky Moore is here to be here for a few more years to try to figure that out. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something more about him than a Cornell Powell, who we drafted and is going to stay on the practice squad, and who we only see during preseason games. We'll see if Sky Moore is a guy who can get through the preseason games and actually make a start. That is the question to me now is, I don't see him as a starter right now, but he has the eligibility to do that before John Ross. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, Justin Ross, like I said, it all comes down to the health and if he can get back to where he was his freshman year of college. So we will see where that goes. Looks like next question came in from Crystal. Crystal says, my fiance wants me to play fantasy football with him. Is your fantasy show going to help me? Or will it be like the other fantasy channels where everything sounds like a foreign language? So I understand coming in new to fantasy and things like can definitely sound like a foreign language when people are throwing around everything.
So I've got this one. Okay, never mind. You got this. Go ahead.
So we definitely plan on breaking it down kind of to a simplistic manner, but it's going to have plenty of relevant information for people that have been playing fantasy for several years. But we're going to walk you through the journey of fantasy football. So make sure you guys do tune in this Friday. The first episode, it's going to be kind of talk about a little bit of the basics and the things that you need to know. So, Crystal, we're definitely going to try to break that down the best that we can to help people, whether it's their first year playing, second year playing, fifth year, 20 year, whatever it is. I'm going to knock my headphones out of my ears real quick. But we're definitely going to do all that we can to try to help out. And, we are here to help you bring home the prize and the pride in your fantasy football league. Now, speaking of fantasy football and our fantasy football show, we won't help you avoid instant karma, but we will help you in your fantasy league. Want to take home the prize and the pride in your fantasy football league? Don't worry, we got you covered. Tune in to Fantasize This right here on Stadium Drive Sports. All right, so definitely if you guys do play fantasy, make sure you tune in. Again, first couple shows they're going to be fairly simple. We want to kind of bring people up to speed on fantasy football in general, but we will very quickly start to get to some of the rankings, the sleepers, and everything for everybody as well. Sean, before I move on to the next question, anything else you wanted to talk about when it comes to fantasy?
Oh, yeah. A lot of the times you can get some valuable information when you tune on the radio, but a lot of times those guys will talk your ear off, and all you'll get is like, listen to me now. I've got the number one picks. We'll put money in your pocket. All you got to do is tune in now. Right after this, blah, 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 blah. And then they never really get down to the just facts about the game. Well, guess what? You skip through all that BS because we are just going to give you the pure facts just right there. Boom, boom, boom about who to start, who's good, who's not, who's all hearsay, and all past that BS. I'm sorry for saying BS twice. We are a rated G show.
Appreciate that, sir. Quincy asks, the Royals called up some of the young guys recently. Are there any other guys that we might call up soon? That's for you, Sean.
Yes, there are 2 or 3, and that's Vinny Pasquantino and Nick Prado. And Nick Prado, he is a guy who generally is a power hitter, and we want him to hit more for contact down there in the minors, trying to keep his average up. It's been a great start for him in the minors, and we'll see how that turns out to be as it progresses towards the middle of the season, and we might see him around that time, around the All-Star break. Vinny Pasquantino, it just depends on injuries. As you saw with Kyle Isbell and Rivera, with these injuries, that kind of brings the green light a little bit sooner than anticipated. So it just depends on injuries and plus different factors, but it will never be because of performance. Okay, we're not going to send Merrifield down to the minors and replace him with Nick Prado. That's just not going to happen. Okay, we have faith in the Royals, and we always will have faith in turning this thing around. Because you want proof? I just gave on my show the Pooh Award to Salvador Perez, and the very next week he won Player of the Series. Things just turn around. It just depends. Okay, sometimes they face some good pitching. All right, on with the next question.
Fair enough. But yes, Vinny, I am excited for Vinny to get the call up eventually and see what he can do. Let's see.
Yeah, MJ Melendez is just stuck at a 333 average through the whole season, so
That's
he can
fine.
just stay with that. That's
Yeah,
just fine.
be stuck at 333. I am totally good with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's looked pretty good so far. A little bit of struggles behind the plate. I know he's had a couple of errors that have occurred, but again, young guy, like it's gonna happen. Bear with it. He's definitely a super solid ball player, and he's gonna help this team a lot moving forward. So
Sure.
keep hopes high. Ken asks or says the Giants release Bradbury. Do you think the Chiefs will sign him? I will take this one, and I will very quickly say, oh, I hope not. I hope not. I have a feeling he's going to be, looking for that $8 million range type of deal, which would make him the highest paid corner on this team. And to me, he would be the number 3 or 4 best defensive back. I don't want to be paying the number 3 or 4 best defensive back, number 1 defensive back money on this roster. And he's also, I believe he's 28 years old.
Yeah, at least not now. We've got L'Jarius Sneed, who we can enjoy while we can on his contract that he has, because he might be one of your Pro Bowlers that you were talking about.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think Sneed's a stud. But Bradbury, I think Bradbury is like literally, I think he's half a year away from starting a pretty quick decline. So I hope we don't sign him. Keep your eye on him this year and pay attention once we get to the back half of the season. I have a feeling he's going to start a very rapid decline. So, and we have a full room right now as well. I mean, we have McDuffie as a first-round pick. We have Sneed that Sean just mentioned. We have Fenton. We have Lonnie Johnson. We have Joshua Williams. We have DeAndre Baker, Jalen Watson. And we have a ton of guys in that room right now. I know not a lot of veterans over there, but that's okay. We have a overall veteran team and veteran coaching staff. We don't need to have all these veterans on the field too. That's who we just got rid of is the vets. Got to go young. I said that recently. Like it's kind of like the Royals. Sometimes you got to go young, right?
Yeah. I would like to see Fenton become a vet with this team. I really like that guy. And I'll tell you what, my favorite thing about a defensive back is not being able to read the back of his jerseys. I don't even want to see your name. I swear, I get so tired of seeing the ball up in flight and the receiver's just looking over his shoulder, and I'm just yelling at the cornerback, turn around, because you have to make a play on the ball. You got to make
this last year, I was just yelling at Matthew, telling him, throw your arms up.
It's not enough. I mean, if you
I'm talking about
hit it,
him throwing his arms up at whoever was covering them, wondering what in the world they were doing.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you recognize this, but Matthew did sign. He signed with the Saints.
Yeah. It's a play with Daniel Sorensen. Yeah,
the one guy he's been throwing his arms up at for the past year. He is now
that's
going
what
to
you
play
meant
with
about
him.
throwing your arms.
Yes.
I thought you meant like for defense when they just hold an arm up and just hope the ball hits it.
No, I'm talking about Matthew Honey Badger throwing his arms up at Dirty Dan.
Get your head around and make a play on the ball. That's what makes a good cornerback or defensive back to me. If I don't see that from you, I don't want to just I'll read your name. I'll see the back of your jersey. I'll know who you are, and I won't want to read Hughes again. Ooh, did I say Hughes? I'm sorry. That's just who I. Ooh, that playoff game. I hope
Sean,
Hughes didn't get signed anywhere. He didn't get signed by the Saints, did he?
He got signed somewhere, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I want to say
the Argonauts.
Indy. I want to say it's the Colts. Don't quote me on it though. But I believe he did sign, and I want to say it's the Colts.
I was hoping Price Chopper as a bagger.
So, Sean, the Royals are currently in the top of the 5th inning. They are down 5-1 to the Texas Rangers, and I'm assuming that Chase is currently watching that game because Chase wants to know, why do the Royals always struggle with the Rangers?
That guy right there, he's a real Royals fan. He's been paying attention to a lot of games over the seasons, and I can completely agree with him. I still am up in arms like the Badger, the Honey Badger, with why do we always have a problem with the Rangers? And I don't know. I think we're cursed. Somebody cursed us somehow.
She's behind you. She cursed us.
It was something like that. It was like a seance. It was a candle lighting. It was a jersey underneath some concrete like the Chiefs did to the Raiders for Allegiant Stadium. It was something like that because it's hard to explain because the Rangers weren't and aren't a very good team. But for some reason, the Royals have always had their struggles against them. It's like I call it a curse, Chase. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I feel like Chase is just here hanging out with us right now. What's up, Chase? He says, say what you want. The Royals made a mistake letting Dave Island go.
Maybe. These coaches, they have their tenure, but you know what? A lot of these players, they kind of ignore them these days. Nowadays, you have a batting coach, and they'll just give you pointers, right? They're there to give you some advice, you know, they're advice givers. But back in the day, George Brett and some of the 1970s Royals had one of the best hitting coaches of all time, and Al Saunders. And they benefited and had Hall of Fame careers. I'm not 100% sure it was Al Saunders.
Wasn't Al Saunders a coordinator for the Chiefs?
He's a coordinator for the Chiefs. It was some kind of name like that. I can't think of it. It's not Al Saunders. I'm sorry. My memory bank is kind of hit a spark there. But I can't think of his name. But that was the one guy who I could say that, yeah, he was one of the few that was actually one of those good bench coaches or side coaches. But besides that, they really are just there for advice. So I wouldn't really look too much into Dave Island as being a blame. I'm sorry. I said Al Saunders. Jesus Christ. I knew I shouldn't have just thrown a name out there.
It's okay. It's the combo show. Let's just start combining the coaching staffs together.
Right. Combo show. Yeah. Well, it was Jamal Charles. I would blame it on him. I mean, the way he tells them to just hit home runs. I mean, does he really expect everybody to just hit a home run every time?
Missed you last week, Sean. Happy you were able to come in and join us this week, 100%. And Chase, I appreciate you absolutely being here, being active. Everybody else watching, I appreciate you guys. Again, if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. If you guys do like the content, make sure that you like the video. We definitely would appreciate that very much from you guys. But again, my name is Kevin Britton. I am the host of the 12th Man at Arrowhead Drive. Be sure to tune in every Sunday and Wednesday for all your Chiefs content right here on Stadium Drive Sports. Sean, Once again, let them know.
Hey, I'm here for Stadium Drive Sports as well on the baseball side, like I said, obviously, for the Kansas City Royals. Now, we won't let you down with any stats. And guess what? I am able to correct my error because I love these stats. I love to get the correct information to you guys. And his name is Charlie Lau. L-A-U, Charlie Lau. So, no, it's not Al Saunders, but, hey, I think it's just a combo show, the way these Kansas City fans just get together and celebrate the Royals and the Chiefs at the same time. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I will see you on Mondays and Thursdays. And don't forget about the fantasy football show that will premiere on Friday the 13th! We'll see you then.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, subscribe, like, comment. If you have questions and you can't make the show, or you have questions for us specifically, stadiumdrivesports@gmail.com is the email. Feel free to hit us up anytime. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Till next time.